Sweetgrass Veterans Club, I'd like to welcome you to today's Veterans Day celebration. I'm Ken Brockway, president of the Veterans Club, as well as an Air Force veteran, and it's my honor to lead today's celebration to recognize our Sweetgrass veterans for their service to this great country, as well as the service of all American veterans. And I'd just like to say a couple of notes of ground rules. Please turn off your cell phones or silence them, and if you can keep the extraneous chatter to a minimum, we'd appreciate it. And secondly, during the standing portion of this program, if standing becomes difficult for you, please sit down. This is a presentation, certainly not a sports contest. Thank you for being here. So at this point, I'd like to ask you to stand for the invocation and the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, our Veterans Club chaplain, Rick Steffen, who will provide our invocation.
Shall we pray? God of our hearts, creator of all worlds, through and with the power of many faithful traditions, we give our thanks for the service of our veterans. Some are with us today, others because of our illness or other obligations could not be present. Let us never take their devotion to liberty for granted. Let our spirits be proud of them. Let our hearts be compassionate and our minds clear and determined in giving them the honor and respect they deserve. Help us to feel the gratitude of a nation to which much has been given and from whom much will be expected in the world. Give our veterans and our active duty members, their families, the courage of their convictions to challenge, to serve, and thrive through these challenges. As we walk through our lives, help us to see friendship in the faces of all veterans and in each other. Can we just have a moment of silence to remember all of our Sweetgrass brothers and sisters who could not be with us today? Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. Next, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our Sweetgrass singers for the singing of the national anthem. Thank you, Sweetgrass singers. We ask everybody, please be seated. Once again, I'd like to introduce the Sweetgrass singers with a variety of patriotic songs, and all to join in the singing.
Forever in peace may you reign, till the emblem of
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. On this Veterans Day, it's my honor also to provide a few remarks and to recognize our Sweetgrass veterans and to celebrate their service as well as the service of all American veterans whose dedication, courage, and sacrifice in the name of freedom and peace have kept this country strong. It was Francis Scott Key when he wrote the Star-Spangled Banner almost 250 years ago. He called America the land of the free, home of the brave. Those words are as true today as they were back then, because throughout this nation's history, America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors. Thus, it is fitting for us to spend some time together as a community to thank our veterans for their service. This tradition of setting this day aside to remember our veterans dates back to the First World War. That war against aggression was a most costly and bitter one. America alone lost 116,000 of its men and women at sea, in the trenches, and in the skies over Europe. Finally, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, the guns went silent. Armistice was declared, and the war to end all wars was over. In the years since, President Woodrow Wilson made 11 November, Armistice Day, a national day of remembrance. The scope of our observance has changed from a day set aside to remember the dead from one war to a National Veterans Day signed into law by President Eisenhower, in which all American veterans from all wars, as well as those who served in peace, could be honored. It was President John F. Kennedy that said, "A nation reveals itself not only by the men and women it produces, but also by the men and women it honors, the men and women it remembers." Today, we can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the more than 650,000 American service members who died in battle, the 1.4 million who were wounded, or the 83,000 that are still missing in action. We, however, remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. We do that on Memorial Day. But here on Veterans Day, this day, we focus on recognizing and thanking the over 16 million veterans who are still living today. In particular, I'd like to take just a few moments, if you will, to recognize a couple of American leaders and American veterans whose story, their story, have made an impact on this nation, an impact on its veterans, and an impact on me personally. The first of which I met as a young Air Force captain in May 1981. A colleague and I were traveling in uniform from Germany, where we were stationed, to Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama. And we were traveling for leadership school there. And we had a layover in Charleston Airport, Charleston, South Carolina. While we were sitting there, a well-dressed gentleman came up to ask us, "Well, where are you guys headed?" And we told him, and he introduced himself. His name, William Westmoreland, General, United States Army, retired. We spent the next hour and a half spellbound, mostly listening to him talk about what an honor and a privilege it was for him to serve this great country during World War II, the Korean War, and of course the Vietnam War, where he was commander of U.S. forces and then Army Chief of Staff. It was one of the most memorable hour and a half I've ever spent. And what most impressed me was, no matter what he experienced throughout his career, he was proud to have served, and he was proud to be an American veteran of this great country, an American hero. A year and a half ago, General Westmoreland led a parade of over 15,000 men and women Vietnam vets, some in uniform, some in civilian clothes, to dedicate the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., November 1982. The second American leader I'd like to recognize is George Day, nicknamed Bud, Colonel, U.S. Air Force, retired, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. In September 1997, my wife and I had the honor of hosting Bud Day and his wife, Dory, who he affectionately called Viking, as a guest speaker for an Air Force dining out, honoring the 50th birthday of the United States Air Force. By the way, a dining out is a formal dinner and a tradition in all the armed forces. As with General Westmoreland, Bud also was a veteran, has served in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. Bud was a pilot, and he flew F-100 aircraft, and his job was directing other combat aircraft to perform strikes against enemy targets. When, in August of 1967, his aircraft was hit by enemy anti-aircraft fire. He had to eject. He was quickly captured and spent the next 5.5 years as a POW. Some of that time even in the infamous Hanoi Hilton POW camp. At one time, he even shared a cell with John McCain, who later became a senator and a presidential candidate. What was striking about Bud, and it came through during his speech, was his steadfast courage in resisting his enemy captor, to include many attempts to escape, and he is proud to have served and proud to be an American veteran of this great country, another American hero. He spent the rest of his life fighting for medical care for all veterans and was the author of 2 U.S. statutes protecting the health care of veterans. He was posthumously promoted to the rank of Brigadier General when he passed in 2013. So on this Veterans Day, we recognize and thank them and all the veterans for their service. So in our audience today, we have men and women veterans, and I would ask that those veterans present, please stand if you are able, or raise your hand if you're not, and please stand. Our veterans, please stand. Please join me in Now, each of you have your own story to tell about your time in service and as a veteran. And I hope you take the opportunity to tell your friends, your neighbors, your family, and especially your children and grandchildren. We would also like to recognize the family members of our veterans, especially their wives or husbands. To them, a special word of thanks for the support they have provided during the good times and the tough times. And on many occasions, they've had to keep the home fires burning while the service member was deployed to fight and serve in foreign lands. So they too have served their country well. Would veterans' family members please stand? Family members, please stand. Whether this nation is at war or at peace, the vital role of our veterans cannot be overlooked. Peace itself demands a continuing effort and renewed commitment by all those who have served and all those who are still serving as active duty men and women who are tomorrow's veterans. Many of them are deployed in harm's way around the world. They continue to help to maintain peace and freedom throughout the world. And today it is our privilege to say thank you to them, and in particular again to our Sweetgrass veterans to let them know we appreciate them for their service and to honor them for their sacrifices. And we celebrate them for keeping this nation, as Francis Scott Key wrote, the land of the free and the home of the brave. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Now, the Veterans Club conducted a Veterans Day essay contest, and I'd like to introduce one of our Veteran Club members, Melba Bethune, to present the contest as well as the essay winners. Melba?
The essay had 3 winners. The essay topic was to thank our veterans, and we had 3 winners. The first one is Brilea Collins, Deacon Collins, and Zachary Wathen. And they're all going to come up and read to you what their essay meant to them. Brilea?
What do you think when you hear the word America? I imagine the country with its variety of food people enjoy eating. For example, Americans love devouring hamburgers, peanut butter, and hot dogs. They are fans of playing and watching football and baseball. America is also a pretty diverse country with its different races and religions. I am inspired by the freedom we have in our Constitution and those who have fought to defend the Constitution. I am grateful for the United States of America's Constitution. Constitution is a guide to help America operate. It is separated into different parts such as the preamble, articles, and amendments. For example, the First Amendment lets we have the freedom of speech and religion. The 19th Amendment gives me the right to vote in elections when I'm older. As Francis Scott Key wrote in the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I am inspired by the veterans who risk their life, family, and health for my freedom. I am so grateful for their dedication towards the United States of America, so every Memorial Day I take my time to thank and salute fallen soldiers. My fellow Boy Scouts of America, BSA, Scouts, and I walk around to the Houston Veterans Ceremony at each tombstone and recite the veteran's name and give him or her a penny and an American flag. As J.S.B. Morse, author of Now and at the Hour of Our Death, once said, I do not believe in the Constitution because I am American. I am American because I believe in the Constitution. America inspires me about how I have the right for my freedom. I also appreciate those who have fought to defend and continue to defend my freedom.
Deacon, would you please come up?
Veterans are one of the most important reasons we have a free country. They go off to training and battle hoping to return to their loved ones. They risk their lives for people they've never met, people they'll never meet, and people they've never come to like. Veterans are a perfect example of liberation and courage. Veterans are the foundation of the freedom that we enjoy. While some may take this independence for granted, it's crucial to realize the dedication and determination of veterans and the workforce needed to provide a flourishing country. Without people who sacrificed their lives for our liberty, America wouldn't be here where it is today. My granddad, Ronald Collins, worked in the Army for over 20 years and helped solidify freedom in this country. Even though the Vietnam War was a time of disdain for the military, he exemplified bravery by fighting for a country that failed to acknowledge the importance of sovereignty. By recognizing the acts of bravery and selflessness in veterans, we can ensure a brighter future for our nation. We must remember the lives lost. We must remember the valor enlisted. We must remember the choices made. We must never forget those who put their lives above others. As we honor our veterans, freedom is a gift for those who want to protect, fortify, and ensure that America will be a free nation forever.
Hey everybody, I am the grandson of Terry and Ray Watson. I don't know if y'all know them. All the hard work and sacrifices made by our soldiers and veterans are unnecessarily underappreciated. The lives lost, the lives affected, the lives dramatically ruined, and those people will still sit for the flag. Of course, people can have their own beliefs and thoughts about the wars and the politics, but for everything our men have done to let us be free like we are today, shouldn't be tossed into the garbage like it is nowadays. The American flag represents freedom. Freedom is only in existence because of the heart, dedication, patriotism, and sacrifices of our beloved men and women. And for that, I will always have the most respect for those in uniform and those retired from war. I would like to bring up a huge part about veterans. Most of our men will come back home after years of fighting. They will fight trauma, mental problems, waking up from nightmares, a bunch of PTSD in the everyday life, and that takes a strong toll and needs to be taken seriously. It is definitely something that is not ideal for anyone to deal with, and we should always be there for those who made it home. Can all the veterans please raise their hand for me? These veterans here are the reason that we are all living free today, every single one of you guys. Until the day I die, I will forever stand for the flag and keep my hand on my chest for the national anthem. Thank you.
Take a picture of us all together, that'd be great. Okay, yeah, we have certificates for these young men and women, and we certainly appreciate them for taking the time to write the essay. I'd like to introduce Watson. Sorry, your first name? Lucas, I'm sorry. Here, we'll have you come up front and just step over there. We'll take a photo together. Right, Leah? Standing right next to Lucas there. And Deegan, you want to join us? Thank you, Melba. Thank you. How about one more round of applause? Once again, the Sweetgrass Singers with a tribute to the armed forces.
When President Eisenhower signed the Veterans Day, he honored all veterans, all times, and all branches of the service. So when I and the Sweetgrass Singers present the tribute to the veterans, we ask if you will stand when your branch of the service is mentioned, and please, everyone, sing with us for all branches of the service to honor all of our great veterans. The Army!
Run and you build
Well, once again, I'd like to thank all you who attended today, and all those who helped plan and participate in today's observance. And also, like, special thanks to Rick Steffen, our Veterans Club chaplain, and Melba for being a part of this presentation. And special thanks and recognition for the Sweetgrass singers. As always, you were just fantastic and awesome. And finally, special congratulations to the essay winners. Thank each and every one. And finally, a special congratulations to the U.S. Marine Corps for their birthday yesterday. 248 years, their birthday, so fantastic. Well, this concludes our Veterans Day celebration. Thank you again for being here.